morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner. It's Tuesday, the 11th of November, Remembrance Day. So today we will be thinking of all of those who have fought to allow us to have the sort of freedom that we have today. And obviously some silence at 11 o'clock. I'm back from Cornwall, back in the office in London. And actually, I must confess, we received some very nice feedback, Paul, yesterday. From a listener saying what a great podcast it was. We love to get a bit of feedback. Please do send it in. And do say if you want to discuss any of the stocks we talk about. This particular listener was thanking us for some fantastic recommendations on strategic metals. Also commenting that dealing on Aquis is exceptionally difficult, which it is. And some of the stocks we talk about are on Aquis. Now, the problem is, of course, because they're so difficult to buy on Aquis, that's probably why they're so incredibly cheap. So if you can find a way of buying them, you probably are getting an absolute bargain because it is a problem. It is something that I will bring up with Aquis itself. Elsewhere, we've seen today, obviously, gold has rallied nicely back up again. We did say it was only a small settling down, so to speak. Gold trading at 4,132 this morning, and of course silver has popped up above $50, trading at $50.71. Morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. And that price popping up is nice to see.
It certainly is. Okay. Why don't we just quickly mention one that we mentioned a little bit recently, but it's a corporate client of ours, Pulsar Helium. Is it a rare gas or is it a rare earth? I don't know. It's a rare gas, but it's also mining. It's helium. It's in Minnesota, so it's very interesting. We've mentioned many times before. They've obviously finished testing their Jetstream 3. They're now about to start drilling at Jetstream 4, aren't they, Paul?
That's right. They had spotted the Jetstream 4 on Sunday, November the 9th, and they're headed for about a 3,000 feet or 914 meters depth on Jetstream 4 for that portion of the reservoir they're testing. Jetstream 3 did penetrate through the entire intended helium-bearing interval they had wanted to do, and they're very, very much encouraged by the strong pressure readings that they had gotten out of 3 at 960 psi, which is about 4 times the pressure that they got out of Jetstreams 1 and 2, wells 1 and 2. So wireline logs will go into Jetstream 3 for interval essentially mapping is what wireline logs do, and they will then propose a flow testing and pressure buildup program for that well.
Yep, it's all going very well. One that I just noticed, because I think it's quite interesting, but it's RZ Resources have just got a nice investment from Japan's Marubeni Corp. The reason, I think it's about 15 million Aussie dollars for their mineral sands project, Paul. The reason I find that interesting is more and more we are seeing some of these Japanese trading houses getting involved in some of these mining projects in critical minerals. We all know that the US and China are trying to establish themselves and get their own critical minerals. There's no question about that the Japanese are also doing it, and I'm sure we're going to see more of that. Have you got any comment there, Paul?
Yes, and because Japan is also targeting those nations which otherwise China doesn't feel they have access to, either by actual practice or by perception, I guess, because of their a closer alliance to the United States, and Japan being an ally up there in the North Pacific of the United States. It therefore sees an opportunity there in this space.
Actually, talking of where China can and cannot get involved, I think we're about to see in Guinea the start of production at the Simandou, I probably pronounced that wrong, iron ore mine, which is going to completely distort, isn't it, Paul, the whole sort of iron ore market to a large extent. It will suddenly pop up in Guinea to about the third largest producer of iron ore. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, the Simandou iron mine is so huge. It's been around for decades and been stalled by various litigation issues and political turmoil with geopolitics and so forth with between Guinea and companies and countries that have wanted to develop the deposit. But finally, it has come online as of this week. And the Guinea minister has said that not just in bringing this mine online, they do intend to move both iron ore and aluminium into midstream processing within the country. They no longer want to just export by raw ore exports because they can see that the value add will make a significant difference to the overall economy.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting in that, so that's been going about 25, 30 years, that project, hasn't it? Rio obviously has been involved, but it was just too big for them. It's such a massive project. Okay, what else would you like to talk about, Paul?
Oh, other than that, we had news out specifically from Stellar Resources at Heemskerk. That's the Tasmania Tin explorer on the Heemskerk deposit in the west of that island. They have done a placement of $9 million Australian at 2.2 cents a share. On top of the 2.9 million they recently got in converted options, their coffers are now filled up to well over 11 million as they proceed with this Heemskerk project. It is a high grade project. It's underground, it's tin and lead, and will in due course, I'm feeling fairly confident will get developed into a new mine in probably 2 years, 3 years time, something like that.
Yep, still a few years off, so it won't be affecting the tin price at the moment, and the tin price is still holding up very, very strong. We do like a little bit of tin. Anything else, Paul?
That's all for me today.
All right, very good. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.